So, hi, my name's Anissa, Anissa Hoy. For those of you who don't know me, I have Firehouse Education, a company that I run with my husband, that very tall, handsome guy in the back room with a flame shirt. I know he's really hard to, spot in the crowd. And along with our son, actually, Travis, who's here with us today. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to show you a little bit about me instead of telling you so much, because I have to take a moment and brag about my grandchildren and my children. But what I want to do over the next 45 minutes is actually talk about one single question. I want you to ask yourself, what does your perfect life look like? Like, what does that look like? No limitations, no restrictions. What does your perfect life look like? And now, when you think about that answer, I want you to be unreasonable. I want you to answer that question in a way that you feel is unreasonable. But I want you to be realistic. Obviously, if I wrote on my perfect life that I wanted to be an NBA basketball player, probably not going to happen. Or an MA fighter, I'm probably not ever going to do that. So that's pretty unrealistic. So I want you to be realistic, but I want you to be unreasonable. Okay? Somebody asked me that question. I'll never forget the day that it was October 18th, 2005. And a guy named Joe asked me that question. And I was actually at an event very similar to this. I was at a marketing seminar. At least that's what I thought I was at. It turned out to be way more than that for me. But I was at a marketing seminar, and this guy asked me that question, standing up on stage just like this, and it forever changed my life. Okay? So it's a very serious question I want you guys to remember. So now I'm going to show you a little bit about me. So this is a little bit about me. This is a recent picture taken of my family at Christmas time. Yes, we have snow around Christmas time. Not where I live. I live on the beach in Washington State, right on the Pacific Ocean. I don't have snow. My children do. So these are my 4 kids. My daughter Chelsea is on the far left. That handsome man next to her is my son Travis, who's sitting right over there. The very tall, other handsome man is Kevin, my hubby, who's standing in the back room. Myself, of course, our handsome youngest boy, Cameron, is just to the right side there, and then the other girl is Tegan, my daughter. So I have 2 boys, 2 girls. They are all amazing. This is one of my 5 grandchildren. This is my beautiful granddaughter, Bella, which, by the way, she's in here twice because this was such a cute picture that I put it in twice. I put a picture of her in there twice. Then, this is my 3 grandsons. This is Corey. We call him Corey Forrest. He's on the far left. The middle handsome young man is Caden. He is 11 actually, and Forrest is 8. And that little chunky there, Kane, is our littlest. He is just a sweetheart. He's actually about a year old now. Then there is Miss Bella. Like I said, she made it twice. This was my oldest granddaughter. She's 9. And this was just before she went to school one day when I got to drive her to school. And this next amazing little one is Evelyn. And don't you just want to kiss those cheeks? She's so cute. So this will tell you a lot about me and who I am looking at these pictures. I am all about my family, and I do everything to keep my time free so that I can spend it doing things with them. This is just a great picture of my husband, my pirate that I travel with. We do a lot of traveling with the free time that we have, and he doesn't really like this picture, and that's usually why I put it in here. This is just him and I on one of our favorite islands that we like to travel to, and I want to show you where I live. This is where I live. This is literally my backyard. I live on the Pacific Ocean in Washington State. Most people think when I say Washington that I live in the rain. It does rain in the winter where I am. We get 80 inches a year, but the majority of the time, this is what we have. We have the open ocean that we get to walk on every single day, and it is amazing and beautiful, and I feel very blessed to live there and to have this life. But this didn't just happen. What I'm going to share with you today is 3 exercises that I used that other people in my life, fortunately, I was smart enough to be in a room like this, and they taught me these exercises, and I used them to design this life that I now have. And last year, officially as of last year, we have more free days than work days. Our free days were 243 last year. I think I'm on that. 243 days. 2.5 months straight just traveling around the world, like Kevin and I did. And we have 3 businesses, 2 besides the firehouse that we do. So, we do work, we just don't work a whole lot. So really amazing woman in my life that came into my life, actually the same day that Joe came into my life, Miss Lisa Wagner. One time said this from stage, she said, she gave me this great analogy for business, my rules. Well, we took that and we kind of reworded it into our life, and I like to say, my life, my rules. So whatever you want in your life, you need to be very, very clear on what that is. Very clear. And you also need to understand and not let someone tell you you can't have what you want, or that what you want is not possible, because it's your life, your rules. So, as I told you, this life that I live, I think is a good life. It's amazing, it's wonderful. I have all kinds of free time. I don't wake up to an alarm clock. If Kevin and I want to take off and head to Thailand for 6 weeks, then we just plan it and go. We don't have to wait real long. I mean, it just, within a short period of time, we can just jump and go wherever we want and do what we want. My office is my laptop. We make our money no matter where we're at. We are, I can't remember the term, Kevin, I think it's called geo-arbitrage. We are not location specific as to how we make our income. So we designed all of that way because it fit into my I know I'm successful when, which is an exercise I'm going to go over with you. And it helped us to have the lifestyle that we wanted to have and design. You may not want that. You may not want to work on your laptop. That's okay. But what I want you to do is to answer these 3 questions for yourself and understand, where do you want to be? So we're going to go over these 3 exercises. I know I'm successful when, the 3-year vision, and where am I? Now, I didn't create any of this. I wish I could say I did. I didn't. Now, I'm going to I know I'm successful when was Dean Jackson. By the way, I don't know if y'all know who Dean Jackson is. He is amazing. You should look him up if you don't. I totally stole that from him, but he said I couldn't. He taught that to me. The 3-year vision quest was Joe Polish. I don't know if any of you have heard of him. Probably a lot of you have in the industry. Incredible man. He is the man that asked me that question. What does your perfect life look like? It literally changed my life. I'm sitting at a desk just like this. I was you. I was in the front row. He asked me that question, and I just started bawling. It was like, and I thought for sure somebody was going to come up in a white coat and think I needed medication or something. It's in a marketing seminar, you guys. But it was a very, very huge exercise that you guys do. I'm going to walk you through that. The other is where am I, which I don't know if he originated it, but that's where I heard it first, was from Lisa and Joe. So I don't know actually if that's where it originated, but I'm pretty sure it is. That's where I heard about it. So these are the 3 exercises that we're going to do together. And I'm going to give you my results and tell you how I went through it, okay? Because I want you guys to be able to write these down and do it on your own. So, when Joe asked me that question, and asked me what did my perfect life look like, it's really important that you understand it to be unreasonable, but realistic. No limitations, no restrictions. I will tell you this, I've done this many, many times. But to have anyone going, I've done this many times. But when I did this, October 2005, I literally thought, this guy's nuts. This stuff will never happen. It's just not going to happen. I thought what I wrote was so insane and so out there that it was just not going to happen. Now, I'm like, I can't believe that's all you wrote. I'm like, are you serious? That's like nothing. But to me, that was amazing. I was 30-something years old, close to 40. $44,000 I made that year on my tax return. That's what I made. I was an employee, never owned a business, ever. I was petrified to fly. I would have never stood right here and do what I'm doing right now, ever. There's no way you couldn't be eating enough to do this. I was petrified to fly. I used to take medication. I lived an hour and a half from the airport. I take medication to get myself to get in the car to drive to the airport, and then when I got to the airport, I take more medication to get myself to get on the airport. Now I fly all over the world because I love it. Well, I don't love to fly still. I have to be authentic, but I will do it. It doesn't bother me not to take medication. I just squeeze Kim's hand really hard sometimes. So I wanted you to understand that because I wanted you to know where I came from, where I was, my mindset when I wrote this. Okay, never owned a company, $44,000 that year on my W-2 as an employee, and small farm town girl, apple orchard in Yakima, Washington. That's where I came from. I wrote down, I want to own my own $1 million company. And I thought that was the most insane thing. I'll never forget how I felt that day. I thought it was the most outrageous, because he said, be unreasonable. I'm like, okay, fine, dude. You want me to be unreasonable? I'm going to show you this stuff won't work. I'm going to own my own $1 million company. Then I wrote down, spend time with my husband every day. At the time, him and I had been married about 20 years. We've been married 34 years now, as of 2 weeks ago. But he worked nights as a meat department manager, and I worked days as an accountant. So we had 4 children. We didn't want our children to be in daycare, but remember I said I only made $44,000, so we weren't, doing whole lots of money, and we had a mortgage, and we didn't make ends meet. So he worked nights, I worked days. He got home at 7, I left at 7:30. One night a week, we were in the same. We had together, that was it. One night a week. So I never got to see him. He would drive, so he would come home 7 a.m., right? And I would be with the kids. So we never saw the kids. I was like a single mom. He felt like he was just a paycheck. I mean, it was miserable. We were happy. I mean, as far as we love each other, we wanted to be together as a family, but we just couldn't. It was really terrible. It was really, really awful. When I think back now, I don't know how we did that. And we were doing that for almost 3 years when I wrote this down. The other thing was, remember I said I thought these things were just unreasonable. I want to travel to a tropical island. Now, I just told you about all the places that we go, right? We go to the Caribbean every year, Costa Rica, Fiji, Tahiti, Australia. To go and travel now is like nothing to me. Well, not nothing, but I mean, do it a lot. But to go to a tropical island was such a dream. It was so out there. So I wrote it down. Wrote all this stuff down. I went home, shared this with my husband, who thought, wow, I don't know what you went to, but I thought this was marketing. But this is great. So, long story short, after that was written, 9 months later, the guy I worked for told me he wanted to sell a company. $1.2 million was the gross revenue in the company. I remember I said how much my money was. I didn't have savings. I didn't have anything to buy this company. And we got creative. Kevin and I, one night on the deck, drinking a glass of wine, and decided to make an offer and make a deal with the owner and buy that company. And so as of September 11th, September 11th of 2006, I was the owner of $1 million company. And my husband was not going to come to work in the business with me. He was going to keep his good, cozy corporate job with health insurance and all this stuff, right? He was going to come later down the road as things were more successful. I was going to run the company. Well, when the project manager found out that I was buying the company, he got kind of pissed, and honestly, because he thought he should just be able to buy the company and didn't know about it, and so he quit. So my husband then found himself all of a sudden, whoa, we just committed ourselves to how much money, signed contracts, done. And the owner's like, hey, look, this was not part of the deal. If you want to back out, that's cool. And Kevin's like, no, let's do this. Let's jump. Kevin is the guy that will jump out of the airplane and build the parachute on the way down, hoping he can figure it out before the ground comes up to meet him. I'm not. I'm a gal. I'm Lisa. I need statistics. I need reports. I need graphs. I need to look it over and analyze it. So that really freaked me out. But we did it. We bought, so all of a sudden, 4 days after the $1 million company came true, I see him every day. We're working together every day. He quit his job. Then, 17 months after this was written, and again, so this is 9 months. First 2 are done. 9 months, you guys. Something that I thought would never come to reality. 17 months after that, Joe announced that he was taking us all to Maui. Taking us all to Maui. That was pretty amazing. 17 months after I wrote this, everything came true. And it came true better than I could have even imagined it would. 17 months. And then very soon after that, we were flying all over, right? So it's a very powerful question to ask yourself, you guys. This exercise, I promise you, if you do it, will change your life. Be unreasonable, but be realistic. I don't know, I'm forever grateful that that question was asked of me. And you can redo these. Obviously, I had to redo mine 17 months later because it was done. And then I made it bigger. And has everything always come true off of my vision quest? Not everything. Pretty much though. It's all about up here. And you really have to be positive and you really need to set goals for yourself. Look, as business owners and entrepreneurs, it's not just all about the money. And it's not all just about getting more jobs and taking care of the client. Is that important? Yes, obviously. But if you don't have the life you want, what kind of an entrepreneur are you going to be? Are you going to be able to give your clients the things that they want? Are you going to have a happy team? Are you going to be happy? I mean, what are we all doing this for? To me, one of the hugest things, by the way, I meant to say this since I came up and I just got in flow and forgot to say it. I really want to say how much I appreciate you all being here. And I thought that was awesome, by the way. Because there's nothing to me in this world more valuable than time. Time is your life. So the fact that you guys are willing to sit in this room and spend some of your life with me, I think is pretty awesome. So I really appreciate that. So this exercise, huge. This one, I really love this exercise. This one's really super fun. So what Dean says, I know I'm successful when, as he has a list. I'm sorry, I'm really not used to how dry it is here in Las Vegas, I will tell you. So what Dean says, I believe his list is 10 things. And this can change again on you. Mine has adjusted, but I pretty much have had this one for a while, I'm sure of you. And it's, I know I'm successful when. Because we're all striving, as we were talking before, like Lisa said, success, that's what we're all striving for, right? Well, it's really not success that we want happiness. Once you have happiness, then you have the success. So, what makes you feel accomplished? What makes you feel successful? Or what I like to say is, what makes me happy? Okay? So, Dean has lots of things. I stole some of his, to be honest with you, because I thought they were perfect, and then I have several of my own. But you make this list, and it can be whatever size you want it to be. He just says at least 10 things that you can look at and say, when these things are in place, when I'm striving towards these things, I know I'm on track. I know I'm doing good. Okay? And I'm so happy to say that all of mine are accomplished. And I'm not changing them because I'm pretty happy. So the first one is, I don't own an alarm clock. Now I know that sounds really silly in 2019 to say. My daughter actually caught me on this and she's like, Mom, nobody owns an alarm clock. What I should have said, but I wrote this a few years ago, okay, before the alarm clocks were still obsolete. I actually should say I don't wake up to an alarm clock. And I don't. Ever. The only time I wake up to an alarm clock is here. Like over here, this. You know what's interesting, you guys? Do you know how much sleep you need? Does anybody in this room know exactly how much sleep you need? Between 6 and 8? And how do you know that? Oh, okay. Well, so it took me 2 years of not waking up to an alarm clock. When I stopped waking up to an alarm clock, I would sleep 10, 12 hours. One time Kevin woke me up, he's like, are you okay? Like, making sure I'm still breathing. just ridiculous, 12 hours or something like that. But my body was so exhausted from 20 years of, raising 4 kids, I guess, and working and getting up with lack of sleep. So it took me about 2 years for my body to just kind of like get into a natural cycle. Now it does not matter when I go to sleep. It doesn't matter. I will wake up 8 to 8.5 hours later, period. Doesn't matter. Unless I, don't, like, I go to bed when I'm tired, and then I just wake up when I wake up. But if I stay really, really late, like midnight or 1, sometimes I might sleep a little bit longer, but if I go to bed at midnight, I'm up at 8. If I go to bed at 10, I'm up at 6. Period. And that's really cool, I think, anyway. The next thing is wear whatever I want to wear every day. And I absolutely do. And 90% of the time, I'm in flip-flops, which I love. But I don't have a uniform. I can wear whatever I want to wear. I mean, I came here to talk to you guys. If I wanted to be in shorts, I'd have been in shorts. I just wear what I want to wear. I know that sounds, to some people, maybe like, well, that's kind of a weird thing. But how much stress clothing and figuring out, how do I look? Like, this is, how am I doing? Am I are people going to think I'm successful if I'm wearing this? Or if I'm just in, like, my little flip-flops with the rhinestones? It's okay. I just dress comfortable. And the work that I do, I get to wear whatever I want to wear as well. Always have tan line. I know that one seems silly, but that means if I have tan line, I'm at the beach a lot. And that is my happy place. That is where I live. That's why I'm very happy that I live there. The other thing is I get to go visit my family whenever I want. It's really important to me to be able to spend time with my kids. They all live in Spokane. I live in Long Beach, Washington. So I'm an 8.5-hour drive from my children. So whenever I just want to take off, which after this trip, we're spending a week in Spokane. We're flying into Spokane so we can just hang out with kids for a week. I don't have any time restrictions, so I can just go do that. I want to be able to see my kids whenever I want to, or my grandkids. The other thing was wake up every day and choose what I want to do. This is probably one of the coolest things. We literally get up in the morning, make our Americanos, go out on the patio, and go, what do you want to do today? Like, almost every day, you guys. Some days we wake up like, yeah, no, we're going to do this tomorrow. But we get to decide. Nobody tells me what I have to do today. Nobody tells me what I have to do tomorrow. Nobody told me I had to be here. Trina asked me, and I'm like, yeah. So I choose what I want to do every day. And I love that. The other thing is, I get to spend every day with my hubby, which I do literally every day. I have to get, I knew I'm successful when I have to get extra pages in my passport. So remember that passport that I got? Well, it expired in 2016. And I just got a new one. I got extra pages. I was so excited. In 2016, I got extra pages because I plan on filming it. So I actually just got that one accomplished, I guess, about 3 years ago. Only work on projects because I want to, not because of money. Think about that. What if I know I'm successful when I only work on projects that excite me and that I love and that, are in tune with the energy that I have, not because of money? How would that change your life? And I don't work, I have turned down some big projects. I've had people think and actually say to me, are you crazy? Do you understand how much money we're talking here? I don't care about money. Let me rephrase that. I do care about money. Money does not motivate me. Money does not make my life happy. Money, it to me is fun tickets. I love fun tickets. That means I get to go have experiences and do things and help others and serve others better. But I don't have a love of money. But what happens is when you have that kind of, I know I'm successful one, and that energy and that mentality, what do you attract? And we get projects all the time that fall in our lap that are like, yeah, that's awesome. And they're great money. But that's what I'm putting out there. So, and again, we have definitely turned down projects because it just wasn't in line with us. So the other thing is my laptop is my office. So all 3 businesses run out of, I have a PC and a Mac. That's it. And I can run them anywhere in the world as long as I have Wi-Fi. More free days than work days. 243 last year. That was a little more, that it's actually grown every year. That was a little more than we had prior, but so far for 2019, it's pretty on par. Pretty typical with that. The other thing is being debt-free. And Kevin and I are. We just built our custom home on the beach there on Pacific, no mortgage, and we are completely debt-free. We don't owe business or personal debt. And that was a huge thing to me because having debt to us was like having you're pre-selling your time. When you have debt, you've pre-sold your time. Period. You've signed away and given your time away. And remember I said that's the most precious thing we have. Our time is our life, and I'm not giving my life away for a material thing. So we have no debt, and that was huge. These things for me signified that when I have these in place, I know I'm successful when. It not only gave me a sense of accomplishment and gave me a chart, if you will, to keep looking at to go, okay, are you on track, Anissa? It helped me not deviate and accept some of those big projects. One project was pushing $1 million, you guys. And they thought we were crazy to not go for this. But we asked ourselves, I looked at this and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to work 50 hours a week for how long? I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to give up my life for that. So get your I know I'm successful when down. Ask yourself your question, right? What does my perfect life look like? Come up with your successful, and then post them. Write them and post them somewhere where you can see them all the time. Your vision quest, same thing. I used to have it pinned up when I had a physical bricks and mortar office. I had all this on my wall. I had it pinned up on my wall, my 3-year vision quest. I know I'm successful when. Lisa taught me the card thing. I love that thing. And I would hang them on ribbons, and I would do the cards, and then I would move them. And when things got accomplished, that were moving me towards this. Okay? It's very important to know where this is for you, because otherwise you don't know where you want to go, right? So the next thing we're going to talk about is 3 more questions that I want you to ask yourself. And this is the where am I call it. But it's 3 questions. And you can do this exercise for all aspects of your life. Financial, love relationship, your relationship with your kids, your weight, your health, your physical fitness, your relationship with your mom, your debt, whatever. You just take a topic and answer these questions. So the first question is, where am I? Where are you? Look at your health and fitness. Well, I weigh 210 pounds, my body fat's 33%, and I'm only walking 4,000 steps a day. If it's your debt, I've got $500,000 in debt. I'm behind on my mortgage payment by 2 payments. Be brutally honest with yourself here, okay? Be brutally honest. Nobody has to see this but you, but if you cannot be honest with yourself about where you are, usually when people do this the first time, they do it at that pain point, okay? That pain point, whatever that is. Whether it's a relationship, your health, fitness, business, maybe you have a business that does great money, but you're miserable. You're miserable. You don't have time off. You don't get to see your family. You feel stressed, like Lisa was talking about earlier. Be honest with yourself. Where am I? And then pick a topic. And maybe you want to do a broad one. When I first did it, it was very broad. We're in a marketing thing, but I decided, where am I in my life? Did a real big broad one. Of course, that made me cry again. I'm not kind of crybaby when it comes to that stuff. But ask yourself that question and be honest with yourself. Because if you're not going to do yourself any favors. Okay? Because then we're going to ask ourselves the next question. And the first thing about identifying your pain is being open about it, right? So the next question that you're going to ask yourself is, Where do I want to be or go? And I'm going to say however it makes sense to you. Some people like to say, where do I want to go? Where do I want to be? So if you are, I'm doing $1.5 million. I've got 10 employees. Business is going great, but I'm stressed. I don't get to see my family. And I have, $500,000 in business debt. Be specific, by the way, as specific as you can about the where are you. Okay? And really think about, and if you're really happy with your business, then great. Like, say those parts too. But then where do you want to go and be from there? Are you like, business is great, but I really want to I want to have dinner 4 nights a week with my family. I want to go on vacation, a trip with my family every 60 days. I want to take 4 days off and go with my family. Be specific about what you want. Okay? And again, be realistic, and yet be unreasonable when you are thinking about what we're talking about here is we're talking about dreaming, right? And some will say, oh well, don't dream. You have to set goals. Well, what I say is dream and dream big, extraordinary. That you just think this stuff is just not gonna happen. It's not in my reality. That kind of dream, and then go set it as a goal and go, what if that could happen? What if I change something? I change my mindset. I change my focus. And what if that could happen? What would that be like? Start your brain in that way and going, yeah, okay. Yeah, what if I could go for 4 days every 60 days with the family, and we can go take the RV out and go camping or go hang out on the beach. Wow. You are going to change yourself physically on a cellular level. You will change how you feel, your thoughts, your mood, all of it. And then what does that change? That changes our actions. You're going to start working towards that when you start believing that. So dream every day and dream ridiculously big. Okay? So the third question, it's usually an easy answer, but it's a difficult one. And that's, how am I going to get there? Okay? So you know where you are. You know where you want to be. You go, all right, so how do I do this? And you may not have the answer. If you don't have the answer, go find somebody to help you get the answer. Maybe it's a seminar. Maybe it's a book. Google. I'm totally like Trina. Thank the heavens for Google. I don't even know what we did, you guys, before that. I'm Googling everything. YouTube. Love YouTube. It's like YouTube University. Go join it. Go to YouTube. Look up topics, whatever it is that you're looking at, whether it's a relationship, it's your business. Find somebody maybe that is got what you want. Pick up the phone. Call them. I don't care if you don't know them. Call them. Reach out. Say, hey, this is who I am. You have a business. This is what I want. Just like this. Would you be willing to coach your memory? Be willing to do that. Okay? This can also be really super tough, you guys, because you might have the answer. You may not like it. You realize that? How are you going to get there? You may have the answer you don't like. There's a lot of different ways that can apply. But if you really don't like that answer on how to get there, because some things are painful, right? Where you're at, maybe because of messes that you've made. And you're like, I don't know. And if they are, then, and you want to be here, then oftentimes to get here, you got to clean them up. And that's painful. It hurts. It hurts our ego. It hurts. It causes that stress, right? You do that thinking Lisa was talking about, and you get stressed. Okay? So these are not, I know they sound really simple, don't they? These exercises, what's your perfect life look like? Like 3 years from now, if you could have your perfect life, no limitations, no restrictions, what's it like? Oh, and what makes you feel successful? Give me 5, 10 things. And here you go. All right, ready to go? I can get there. But they are so powerful. I remember sitting in my seat thinking, oh, those are just, that's a really simple exercise, okay. And then you start doing it. And the more real you get with yourself doing these, the more powerful these exercises will be for you. I promise. And I do them all the time. I do the word are yous all the time. Just had a situation occur with a relationship, I did where are you? Because oftentimes when we get stuff going on and we're like business owners and we're stressed or we're just busy. Maybe you're not really that stressed, maybe you're just busy. Life's happening. And all of a sudden you wake up and you're 51 years old and go, wow, that like last 10 years flew by, wow. So don't just let life go by. Be sure that you're paying attention. And these kind of exercises do exactly that. And you can use these on your business too. All these exercises. What does my perfect business look like in 3 years? No limitations, no restrictions. How about that? That'd be pretty interesting, wouldn't it? Okay, so here's some things that I want you to walk out of the room with. And I really want you to know. I want you to know that your time is your most precious asset. I want you all to feel like that when you walk out of this room, or at least maybe I've given you some reflection that you will now do, and be very protective and possessive about where you choose to spend it. Okay? The other thing is anything, and I mean anything is possible for you. If that little town farm girl could sit in that building with 600 people surrounding her, having no idea what was going on, could write down on a sheet of paper 3 things that were pretty out there, you guys. I mean, if you think about what I wrote, that was pretty flipping out there for somebody that made $44,000 a year, and all that happened in my life in 17 months. I mean, I didn't just write it on paper, by the way, fold the paper away and then go home and it just happened. Obviously, I worked towards that, but it happened, and it happened in phenomenal ways. So anything's possible for you. I don't care if you're in so much debt right now, maybe you're thinking about bankruptcy. I don't know what's going on in your business. Maybe your marriage is on the brink because you're doing nothing but working 24/7. Maybe you're just so stressed out, your doctor's like, dude, you need to get yourself together here, or you're gonna have a heart attack. I don't care what's going on for you. Anything's possible. It really, really is. And I need you to believe that. Okay. Next is dream. Dream and dream big, dream ridiculous, and turn them into goals. That's how to make change in your life. And always, please always invest in yourself. Like I said, if you know someone who has that kind of success that you want, pick up the phone and offer to pay them for that. Offer to exchange value for that if you can't actually write a check. Always invest in yourself. And by the way, you can invest in yourself by just spending some time on YouTube. You can buy a book. There's a lot of ways you can do it. Okay, please do that because you're worth it. Your life is worth it. And success leaves clues, like I said. So go find people that can coach you or mentor you that have the success you want, that have accomplished their dreams and goals that are in alignment with you. So I want to leave you with this. This is one of my all-time favorite quotes. Bruce Lee. I thought you'd like this one. He said, "If you love life, don't waste it, or don't waste time. For time is what life is made of." Right? That is exactly what it is. So when you choose to come into a room like this and spend 45, 50 minutes with me, it makes me feel really privileged. And I really, really, really appreciate your time. I am very passionate about people living their life full, living their dream life, and not being stuck, feeling that they're stuck in a life that they just don't feel fabulous about. And I would love to have a conversation with you. You can reach me. I'm going to be here at the event for the next few days. And I'm doing another marketing thing on Friday. Anissa@firehouseeducation.com is my email. You are welcome to send me an email and link up with me. I'd be happy to talk with you. If anything's come up for you in the last few minutes, 45 minutes or so, you'd like to chat about it, or have any questions about other resources that I have found to work in my life, and I would be happy to chat with you. And I really thank you so much for spending time.